Good evening and welcome once again to this session of Duke Reads, the last in our second series on Duke Reads. My name is Frank Stasio. I'm the host of a program called The State of Things here at North Carolina Public Radio, WUNC. And I'm very pleased to welcome Sandy Williams, who is the Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at Duke Medicine, also the Senior Advisor for International Strategy at Duke University, and Richard and Pat Johnson, University Professor. In 2007, Dr. Williams was appointed Senior Vice Chancellor of the School of Medicine at Duke. He oversees both the Duke School of Medicine and the Duke... Oh, I was going to ask about that. Tell me about this.
The Duke NUS Graduate Medical School in Singapore. NUS is National University of Singapore, so it's a partnership between Duke and Singapore to found a new medical school there, which is now about 3 years old.
That's amazing. So that all keeps you busy, but before that, you served as Dean of the Duke School of Medicine for 6 years, educated in public affairs, internal medicine, cardiology, biochemistry, and molecular biology at Princeton University, Duke University, Harvard. Spent some time at Mass General, Oxford University, and Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory. As a physician scientist, Dr. Williams discovered genes, proteins, and pathways that control development, proliferation, cell size, and differentiation of cardiac and skeletal muscle cells. He defined basic principles of how these cells adapt to changing physiological demands associated with environmental stresses, such as exercise, and disease states, such as congestive heart failure. He's led clinical research and educational programs in cardiovascular medicine, so obviously uncertainty has not gotten in the way of your hard work, and it's a pleasure to have you here. You served as president of the Association of University Cardiologists, chairman of the research committee of the American Heart Association, on a number of editorial boards, advisory committee to the director of the National Institutes of Health, and the board of external advisors of the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Frank.
I'm glad you had time for this.
Indeed.
Copenhagen, this is wonderful, and I'm glad you brought it to my attention. Once again, a scandal that I had not even heard of this before you did, so thank you very much. What about this do you like?
Well, there were several reasons I chose this work. First, it's about real people. And the play gives us both insight into their lives as human beings, and they played important roles on the world stage in the midst of some pivotal events that without question have had and will have a lasting impact on human history. The other reason I chose it is it's short. It has I thought people would read it, and the stagecraft, the dialogue, I thought was elegant. The other reason is I thought it provided a very nice connection between real scientists and how scientists work, how they do their work, and the world of the stage, the world of literature, and those worlds are often not very well connected. I'm not a physicist, so I'm as much of an amateur when we deal with quantum mechanics as most of the listeners tonight. But I am a scientist, and I have lived a life in science. I know how science gets done, and this play has the ring of authenticity when they're reminiscing about how physics in the 20th century came about.
The